The Raiders traded for one of the best slot corners in football, and nobody has seen him since. Not at the facility, not on social media, nowhere. That is where things stand right now, and this fan base deserves answers. The schedule is out, and the tests are coming early. The linebacker room still has a hole with a veteran name sitting in free agency that fits perfectly. And Kirk Cousins went on record about Fernando Mendoza, and what he said tells you exactly what kind of quarterback room is being built in Las Vegas. Raider Nation, this one is for you. The schedule is out, and the first thing you need to understand about it is that Klint Kubiak is not getting a soft landing in year one. This team is going to be tested from the very first snap of the season. Week 1 at home against the Miami Dolphins. Week 2 on the road at the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 4 at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 6 at home against the Buffalo Bills. Week 9 on the road at San Francisco. That is not a gentle opening stretch for a team running a rookie quarterback and a first-year head coach who are still learning how to play off each other. That is a real test right out of the gate, and nobody should pretend otherwise going into this season. But here's the other way to read this schedule. And honestly, this is where it gets interesting. The early home games are legitimate opportunities. Opening at Allegiant Stadium against Miami gives this team a chance to set a tone in front of the black hole before the road games start stacking up. The bye week lands in Week 13, late enough for this roster to build real momentum through the first half of the season, and early enough to give them a reset before the final stretch when everything counts most. Weeks 14 through 16 bring the Chargers, Broncos, and Titans back to Las Vegas, which is exactly the kind of late-season home schedule a rebuilding team needs when the stakes are rising and every single win matters more than the one before it. Week 18 closes on the road at Kansas City, and that one is going to be what it is. But by Week 18, this team should know exactly what it is capable of. The schedule is hard. There is no sugarcoating that. But there are real windows in this schedule where a team playing fast, playing connected, and playing with the right scheme can steal games nobody expects them to win. In a rebuild year with a new coaching staff and a franchise quarterback learning on the job, stolen wins are how winning cultures get started. Raider Nation has been waiting long enough. The schedule is set. Now let's see what this team is made of. The Raiders traded real draft capital to bring in a starting caliber slot corner, and Taron Johnson has been completely invisible since the deal was made. Not at the facility, not in the team's off-season photo dumps, not in the background of any workout footage from the practice facility. Every single addition this offseason got the full social media welcome treatment from this organization. Tyler Linderbaum, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, Kwity Paye, Jalen Naylor, even Cameron McGrone, who just signed this week, got the standard graphic. Johnson got nothing, from the team or from himself. His ex-bio still says he plays for the Buffalo Bills. Just Blog Baby was the first to flag all of this publicly, and once you see the full picture laid out, it is genuinely hard to dismiss. Now here's the fair counter-argument. Voluntary means voluntary. Johnson is not under any contract obligation to be at the building right now. Plenty of veterans skip phases of the off-season program and show up ready to go when it matters. He follows the Raiders, Max Crosby, and Jeremy Chin on Instagram, which at least tells you he has not mentally checked out. And the ex-bio is probably just neglect, not a statement. But here is the part that is hard to wave away. Klint Kubiak said this week that with OTA reps being more limited than they used to be, you have to be intentional about your time. Every rep matters. Players who are not there are falling behind. And Johnson is brand new to this scheme. He has never played a single snap in a Rob Leonard defense. He has never shared a field with Jeremy Chin, rookie Traden Stukes, or Jermode McCoy. This entire secondary needs to learn how to play together. And the most experienced defensive back this organization acquired this offseason has been a ghost since April. The slot corner is one of the most critical positions in this defense because the AFC West attacks that area constantly. Kansas City does it, the Chargers do it, Denver does it. If Johnson is not ready when Week 1 arrives against the Dolphins, the back end of this defense is going to have real problems. Phase 2 is rolling right now. The rest of this team is in the building putting in the work. Raider Nation needs to know where Taron Johnson is, and this front office needs to answer that question before it becomes something bigger than it already is. Tough schedule from Week 1, and the most important secondary addition this offseason is nowhere to be found. So here's the question for Raider Nation. Is the Taron Johnson situation something you are genuinely worried about? Or do you think he shows up before mandatory minicamp and this whole story goes away? Drop it in the comments and subscribe if you are not part of this community yet. Because the next story is about another hole on this defense that still needs to be closed. The linebacker room has a depth problem, and the veteran name being floated as a solution is Matt Milano, a 31-year-old linebacker who has history working with Raiders senior assistant Al Holcomb, and who is still sitting in free agency right now, waiting for a call. Milano is 6 feet, 224 pounds, and his last full season of production came in 12 games with the Buffalo Bills, where he logged 67 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, 3.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. Those are real numbers from a real linebacker who knows how to play this game. But here is where it gets complicated, and Raider Nation needs to hear this clearly. Milano has struggled to stay healthy since an injury in 2022, playing just 9 combined games across 2022 and 2023. He missed 16% of his tackles last season and allowed a 104.9 quarterback rating in coverage, which tells you he has looked stiff and limited in space compared to what he used to be. He is not the player who was dominating in Buffalo at his peak. That version of Milano may be gone. What remains is a veteran with real experience, a connection to this coaching staff through Al Holcomb, and the ability to provide depth in a linebacker room that desperately needs a higher floor. And that last part is the key word right now: depth. The Raiders added Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean as the starters, and both are genuine upgrades over what this team had last season. But both of them have injury histories. If either one goes down for any stretch of time, this linebacker room behind them is dangerously thin and dangerously young. Milano is not a starter on a contending team in 2026. But as a veteran who can spot start, rotate into the room, and give this defense something more reliable than what is currently sitting behind Walker and Dean, he makes real sense. We feel this in our chest. Every single one of us who has watched this defense get torched through the middle knows exactly what one bad injury to Walker or Dean would mean for this team's season. Milano is not the answer, but he might be the bridge this defense needs until the answer develops. The quarterback room in Las Vegas is being built the right way, and the proof is in what Kirk Cousins said publicly about Fernando Mendoza this week. Cousins called him a tremendous player and a tremendous person, said he is looking forward to working together, and described the two of them as a great support system for one another. He talked about helping introduce Mendoza to the NFL and getting him started on what he believes is going to be a great career. That is not a veteran quarterback feeling threatened by the rookie behind him. That is a professional who understands exactly what his role is in this building and is embracing it the right way. And that dynamic matters more than people are giving it credit for right now. Cousins knows this offense. He worked with Clint Kubiak in Minnesota. He understands the system, and he has the edge heading into training camp because of that familiarity. But Mendoza is not far behind. ESPN's Jordan Reed broke down exactly why Mendoza fits this offense. Dating back to his time at Cal and through last season at Indiana, Mendoza has operated multiple offensive systems and shown the ability to work through exhausting multi-step progressions to third and fourth options in passing concepts. He finished 2025 with a 73.4% completion percentage on play-action throws, which is exactly the kind of production Kubiak's offense is built around. ESPN's Ryan McFadden also weighed in, noting that the Raiders have already made significant strides to set Mendoza up for success, hiring Kubiak, signing Tyler Linderbaum, improving the defense through the draft and free agency. McFadden pointed out that consistency in the running game will be a key factor in Mendoza's transition, with Ashton Jeanty and fourth-round pick Mike Washington Jr. both needing to contribute in the backfield. The pieces are coming together. Cousins is the bridge. Mendoza is the future. And from everything being said inside and outside this building, both of them know exactly what their job is right now. Tough schedule coming, Johnson still missing, Milano sitting in free agency while the linebacker depth stays thin, and Cousins setting the right tone in the quarterback room. 4 stories, 1 question. Does this defense have enough to hold up when Week 1 arrives? Or does this front office still have real moves left to make? Drop your take in the comments and share this with every Raiders fan you know, because this one belongs to all of Raider Nation. Week 1 at Allegiant Stadium is coming fast. Taron Johnson needs to show up before this secondary falls behind in a scheme it has never played. Milano is available, and the linebacker room cannot afford an injury to Walker or Dean. And Cousins is in that building every single day, pulling Mendoza up with him. That is the quarterback room this franchise has been missing for years. The questions are real. But so is the foundation being built. Drop your take in the comments. This space belongs to everyone who lives by just win, baby, and never walked away from the silver and black.